Ladies and gentlemen, we have officially done it. We have reached 1 million views on the channel. You all have been truly amazing on the start of this channel. I love y'all, but we're not done there because all that remains is the subscribers. So to anyone new to the channel, hit up that subscribe button, comment what you want to see next, click that notification bell so you don't miss out on new videos. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 1 million views special.
WrestleMania and change their careers forever. For every winner, there's someone who came one elimination away from that moment. The runner-up. And WWE history could look very different if just a few eliminations had gone the other way. I personally love the Royal Rumble. It's my favorite pay-per-view of the entire year. Even when it's mid, I still find myself enjoying the suspense of it. So we're exploring every WrestleMania main event that would have happened if the Royal Rumble runner-up had won instead. Some would have created legendary matches, and others would have completely changed WWE history. And a few might have led to disaster. The first Royal Rumble in 1988 didn't award a WrestleMania title shot yet, but if the runner-up one-man gang had won instead of Jim Duggan, the babyface momentum might have looked very different for the Hacksaw. The idea of winning and getting a title shot in main eventing at Mania only came around in 1993. So for the early years, you'd have, for example, in 1989, instead of Big John Studd, it would have been Ted DiBiase. In 1990 and 1991, when Hulk Hogan won, it could have been Earthquake or even Mr. Perfect. And in 1992, in that famous Ric Flair Rumble, it could have been Sid Justice. With a tear in my eye! Moment. The idea of Mr. Perfect winning a Royal Rumble sounds, well, perfect. Mr. Perfect versus Ultimate Warrior for the WWF Championship at WrestleMania would have been a completely different kind of main event. But the Flair Rumble in 1992 will always be iconic, so I'm happy with that reality. So moving on to 1993, when Yokozuna won, instead it would have been Macho Man Randy Savage. Still to this day, one of the most illogical Royal Rumble endings I think ever. The concept of hitting your finish and then going for a pin in a non-pin match, and then getting tossed from being thrown over the top rope. Ay, ay, ay. Like, don't get me wrong, you can wrestle a match and maybe your brain's a little scrambled, but Macho Man, I know you weren't that stupid, come on. Macho Man Randy Savage versus the Hitman Bret Hart for the WWF Championship would have been an all-time classic. Now, in 1994, we had co-winners, of course, Bret Hart and Lex Luger. Because Bret and Luger technically tied, this year gets a little weird. But if Bret had won outright, the WrestleMania 10 title picture likely wouldn't have been split between Bret versus Owen and Luger versus Yokozuna. And then vice versa if Luger had won outright. In 1995, that famous moment was only one of Michael's boots touching the wall. Versus Diesel at WrestleMania would have been a strong power match, but for sure less iconic than Diesel versus Michael. Although the British Bulldog, in my opinion, is one of the most sorely underrated what-if scenarios in pro wrestling, and it's a shame things happened the way they did. In 1996, the match was of course won again by Shawn Michaels, but if Diesel had won instead, he would have challenged Bret Hart at WrestleMania as well. But here's the twist. That means the Iron Man match between Bret and Shawn never happened. One of WWE's most important matches in history might never exist. Alternatively, if the rules were flipped, then HBK may have faced The Undertaker that year in an early preview of things.
That. Your doctor may test for TB.
People do not like change. You're used to some things that when you discover there's been a shift and you had no say in it, that's quite hard. You feel weird, you feel uncomfortable, and almost like you have to start again. Deep down, we are creatures of habit. This is why when you've seen someone use a certain move as a finisher for 67,567 years, and then all of a sudden they want to get a new one over, it's quite difficult. What is this confangled new maneuver, and who is this guy for trying to get me to care about it? I was more than happy with the Tombstone, and now it's dead. Preposterous. Probably better to just accept it, but whatever. I'm silent from What Culture. Remember to hit that subscribe button, and this is 10 WWE superstars who gambled on a brand new finisher. Number 10, John Cena. Cena got away with this as he wasn't really back long enough for it to be a proper thing, but teasing that he did have a new big move that he was going to unleash did get people interested. And when it turned out to be the Lightning Fist, there was an air of disappointment. More comedy than serious, John literally just started to twonk people in the face. It's hard to buy as you see around about 45,567 strikes a match, but that was the point. This was more of a joke instead of groundbreaking. This got underlined further when Chris Jericho did a better job with his Judas Elbow, which fell into the same category. Given that Cena is pretty much gone these days, doesn't really matter. It's also smart. Why smash yourself around when there's no need anymore? It only takes a conversation with Hulk Hogan's back about the leg drop to figure that one out. Only he had just decided to hook somebody in the nose. Who knows if we'll ever see John's big new move again? He's making waves on the big screen. More power to him. Number 9, Dolph Ziggler. I'm not even sure if I know what Dolph Ziggler's finish is these days. It changes like the wind at the sides. He never wins anyway, so it doesn't count as a finisher. In 2011, though, things were different, and amazingly, Dolph attempted to get a sleeper over as the most devastating weapon in his arsenal. Contrasting it to his crazy bumping style, it was a case of using the past to shape the future and utilising a submission move as almost a wink and a nod to those who came before. The problem was no main star agreed to lose to it because they thought it looked stupid, meaning the only wrestlers that did were mid-card fodder, and that wasn't going to serve Dolph's plan. He tried in vain, but it was soon clear it was a waste of time. It was ditched. Back to that zigzag we went. Number 8, The Big Show. For most of his career, The Big Show relied on the choke slam to win matches because of course he did. The staple of any giant, it was easy to do, and it looks awesome when your opponent gets some serious height. When you're dominant, these are the boxes you seek to tick. For the boxer in 2008, and all of a sudden he was using the power of the violence. Brought in for his WrestleMania 24 match against Floyd Mayweather so that Show could act like he was capable of knocking the champ out. It came into effect in March of that year when Chris Jericho sold it like his jaw had exploded. It wasn't just for laughs though. Big Show even destroyed The Undertaker with his new blow, which raised the eyebrow of many fans. We weren't mucking around. He's never really gone back to the chokeslam either, instead decided to stick with this hammer which has served him well enough. Let's be honest, if someone who is 7 feet tall did punch you in the face, you'd likely fall over. Number 7, Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's always funny to think that when Steve Austin walked into the WWE after a damn good ECW stint, he was given the ringmaster gimmick. He was also put with Ted DiBiase, and that would shape his whole character. $1 million champion, $500 million corporation, and use the $1 million dream as his finisher. Did he do anything else? Even in 1996, that approach was seen as old hat, and it's telling that 6 months after his debut, and that DiBiase suddenly left, that Austin began to use the stunner. That tied into the Rattlesnakes King of the Ring win, and as we know, we were then off to the races. I'm not 100% sure that we'd have gotten the same boom if Steve had just carried on choking people out. The immediacy of dropping someone's jaw onto his shoulder became a visuals fans were desperate to see week in, week out, and from there, he became one of the most successful professional wrestlers in history. The end. Number 6, Chris Jericho. It's not surprising at all that Chris Jericho would be on this list, because who is better at smelling the winds of change and listening to them? The answer is no one. Constantly reinventing himself and staying ahead of the curve, this was true for his moveset as well, which is what we saw in 2007. Returning to the WWE,
Gorgeous!